So, hello and welcome to Strategy Battle Gamers, the Great British Hobbit League YouTube channel, and you're here with your roving reporter, GBHL Jamie.
And you.
And I'm interviewing Mr. Damien O'Byrne. Yeah. And today we're not really going to talk about sort of gaming. We're going to talk about the hobby behind the hobby. So you can probably see in front of you here is a beautiful display board made by Mr. Damien O'Byrne. And do you want to talk us through sort of, well, firstly, why did you make the display board?
Because I'm an idiot.
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah, it was for Throne Skulls this year, the premier SBG event of the year. And I have been lucky enough in the past two events I've been to at Warhammer World to be nominated for Best Army and never quite won it. And it's been a kind of ambition of mine to try and win one. And I noticed before Sam McGuinness and Paul, I can't remember his surname, sorry, his doubles partner did an amazing Helm's Deep one that won. And they're on a display board, and Sam had won on a Goblin Town board. And the painting's amazing, but I kind of thought maybe display boards are that extra bit of kind of hobby enthusiasm that people like, I guess. So I thought I'd go all out this year and try and make a display board for this army.
And how did that go for you?
It was. I'm glad I got it done, but it was really tough.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of updates on the Facebook page going hashtag never going to happen.
And I believed it as well. I came up with the idea at the February before, so like a year and a half before.
Yeah.
When I just
so plenty of time to make a display board. Sure.
It's the thing. I had about 18 months. I just had this idea of there'd be the Battle of Five Armies with Mirkwood and Erebor and then Lake Town.
Yeah.
And this was all before the Destination of Smaug. So I was actually I didn't know what they do for profiles. I was thinking of having a King's Huntsman with warriors as Bard. Yeah. And then maybe using Treebeard profile with a big bear or something. But I had the idea for it then. Yeah. And then I actually started making it, I think it was 4 weeks before the event.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was fairly stupid. But I was going through all sorts of stuff like moving house and all that. Yeah. And that's when it happened. So yeah, about 4 weeks before the event, I finally got cracking on it. And it was quite good fun at times.
So the Force is obviously, as it says here, the Battle of Five Armies. Yep. So component parts to the Force? So
it's very similar. It's the kind of next step. It happened from my video. If you've seen the interview video from our event, Desolation Stockport. Yeah. Then I had Thorin leading my converted dwarfs, which by the way was another reason I thought I'd go all out, because I'd gone all out on the models. Yeah. I've been saying that I've been putting more time and effort into these models, so I thought this is kind of my chance possibly for a win. So yeah, I had Thorin with the Oaken Shield, no Orcus, because he wouldn't have it.
He wouldn't have it at that point.
At the Battle of Five Armies, and 8 Dwarves of Warriors of Erebor, 2 with Spear. Bilbo, of course, has got to be there.
Fantastic Bilbo.
Brought him along. Yeah, I love that model. Really pleased with it. Then the not controversial, but slight concession again to the fluff, which I think was important. Yeah. I had 9 Mirkwood Rangers led by Thranduil.
Thranduil, so
and I took Legolas to Desolation Stockport, and I didn't think it was unfluffy. But then when I was thinking about this, I was like, Legolas would be better for my army, but realistically, it's got to be Thranduil. He's the king. He's the one who leads them there. So I booked Thranduil. I brought him without a bow because I didn't have a bow. Yeah. It was also good. It was good. Sorry, the model didn't have a bow. Yeah. It was also a good excuse to get my Thranduil model painted up. So yeah, he made sense to me. You know, you'd ask someone who led the old Battle of Five Armies, it'd be Thranduil, not Legolas.
You can also see some spiders lurking around in the background there.
Yeah, they were really fun to do. It was one of the bonuses of the Throne Skulls event was that they had the Mirkwood games. Yeah. Where you could have spider-infested woods, and you could have them if you were good as well as evil.
Yeah, so whoever rolled it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was again a good, like Thranduil, was a good excuse to get some spiders done. And seeing as I was having a Mirkwood section, it kind of made sense to me to put them in trees. And if you've seen there's one here actually. You've seen my eagles from last year. I seem to have some crazy obsession with putting monsters in trees. And I really like the Mirkwood spider models, but I thought they were a bit just on a base they're a bit dull.
Yeah, they're a bit
active. Seeing as I've done these trees, I decided, if you notice, these two are on 60mm bases. Yeah. And so I played around with them. I bent the fine cast on the one here hanging out of the tree, so that he's he looks hopefully like what a spider looks like when he's dropping down.
Yeah.
And then put a bit of brass rod out of his back.
Yeah.
And kind of coated in liquid green stuff. And then this one, I built the tree first and then balanced him on it and bent his legs to hopefully touch the branches.
Yes,
as best I could, so it looked like he was sitting on it.
And up top, very nice little touch here. For the films.
That was about the last. I think that was the last thing I finished for it. It was an idea I had in my head of Bilbo. I was going to do it on the board anyway before the spiders. Of Bilbo sticking his head out, so he's in 2 places at once. But I thought I'd get away with it. And I had this mad idea for how to do the butterflies, and it's just it's some leaves. It's like woodland scenic leaves.
Oh yeah.
Dipped in a kind of turquoise glaze and then bent round his base. And if you zoom in on it really close, it looks like blue leaves on string. But then if you zoom out of it by about a foot, I think it looks like the butterfly. Yeah, it looks ridiculous. But then if you zoom out of it by about a foot, I think it looks like the butterflies.
Even from sort of this distance, it looks like butterflies around his head.
And it was, I was quite pleased with it. And he does come out, because I wasn't convinced that, I thought maybe I want this model.
Yeah.
So he, that's how it's worked. It's glued onto his base like that.
That's very cool.
But then I built him this little nest out of the leaves, with the idea being that he can sit in there and you wouldn't see his base.
Yeah.
So he'd kind of
looks like he's literally just
sticking out,
poking his head in there.
So they are actually now, those two are my Mirkwood spider models because they're on 60mm bases.
Very cool.
But I think they're almost a little too style. I kept, people.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I had them on the table for the games, and people go going, "Why have you got trees?" I was like, "Spider." And people would go, "Oh." See a little dribbling.
I was going to say, before we start recording, I said, "Oh, I remember this model from Throne of Skulls. You entered him." I thought this was the monster. I didn't realise at Throne of Skulls you had a spider in there. I thought someone made a tree with Bilbo poking his head out. That is amazing.
And entered it into the monster.
So it was just like, it's on a 60mm base, sure. But I never even spotted that spider.
I really like the Mirkwood spiders. I thought the models were gorgeous.
Yeah. And swinging over to the other side.
Yes, they weren't part of my army. They were bonuses.
Yeah,
so they fitted in
those
with the theme.
So we got the Elves, we got these guys, and they've got the third army.
Yep. Which was Bard leading my Lake Town Guard.
Yeah.
So that was, again, the kind of thinking behind that was, you can make this art. I think I had a lot of fun using Bard, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was really good, but he's 20 points too expensive.
Yeah, he's that bit much.
He's only defense 4. He shouldn't be that many points.
Yeah.
And you make this army grossly better by dropping him and putting Alfred in.
Yeah.
And then you got 100 points. And maybe get Gwai here, maybe get more guys, maybe get Dwalin.
Boost it all up, yeah.
And there's so many things you can do. You give Thorin a pony, you replace Ranger with Legolas, you put Alfred in there, and that's not why you do it. It's like, again, it's about the 5 armies. It's got to be Bard.
Yeah, he leads them.
Fluff kind of...
He leads them.
Yeah.
He leads them. So, it makes sense.
Fluff kind of utterly dictated it. So it was fun to then get a few Lake Towners done and build the house.
Yeah, so the house. Now, this is scratch built entirely, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a really good company. I can't remember what the name of it is, but they do some like Lake Town houses. And I contacted the events team beforehand and said, I know I can't use GW models. Can I use non-GW models? Can I use non-GW scenery? Yeah. And they eventually said, they came back saying, not really. Yeah. So on the plus side, it saved me 40 quid. But on the downside, I had to build a house. So it's... So
you moved house and built a house.
Yeah, it was... I remember about 2 weeks before we moved, my wife was saying, are you sure this is as I was sanding foam in a garage with no conceivable plan, she was like, are you sure this is the best idea? I'm like, shut up, no. But yeah, that was built out of foam board, and then balsa wood panels were stuck on the side of it to give it the wooden texture.
The wooden effect there. Did you score the balsa wood, or are they individual planks?
Yeah, no, oh God. Yeah, it was, they're big, they're strips of balsa wood which are the size of the walls. Yeah. And then it's scored down. And then they're kind of lolly sticks, T-stairs I think they were. I bought them from eBay, I got 1,000 for like 10 quid or something. Wow. And
lots of Lake Town houses in the future?
No. One Lake Town house in my life. I really enjoyed it, but it was a nightmare.
Yeah. What did you use for the windows? The cross-hatching sort of little metal rods?
It's metal stuff. It's around somewhere.
It's like soldering wire? Almost.
It just from a craft shop. It was just this
metal
mesh. That they had it on a big roll, and you could buy that strip of it. And it worked reasonably well, but it fell apart a bit. Because if you imagine, it's held together by itself. So as soon as you cut it down, it's just a bunch of loose bits of metal. Yeah. So some of them look better than others. I basically used the back wall over here as a test for everything. It was a test for the window, a test for the colour scheme. So because I knew people wouldn't really see it.
And the roof itself?
The roof is cereal packet card in long strips. So they're not individual tiles.
Yeah.
Like that's a piece of card, that's a piece of card.
Oh,
and then they were snipped.
It's a very clever way of doing it, you couldn't tell.
Yeah, and that still took a long... I think there's about 20 rows on each one or something. And it took a few hours. That's a drinking straw.
That can't be cardboard.
No.
And obviously the gates themselves, how are they made?
Most of it is made from it's a type of foam that I got in Wicks. It's like it's an insulating... It's not polystyrene. It's like an insulating foam. It's the stuff.
Is it orangey? It's basically...
It's like a creamy colour, but it's got cardboard or paper, with foil on each side of it.
Yeah, I know the stuff.
And it was relatively cheap. And what I like about it, unlike polystyrene, is it makes a really smooth finish. It doesn't bubble or anything. So there's a big piece of it here, and it was actually about that thick to begin with.
Oh yeah.
And then it's obviously all been just sanded down by hand, and then a lot lower there. And then there's this. Most of the rock is a aquarium decoration.
Oh, right.
You can actually probably see at the back, right, the messy bit. You can see the kind of plastic shape of it.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So it's just like a fish tank.
Scenic. Is it cut in half, or?
Yeah, it was sliced down the middle, and then that's the front and that's the back.
Yeah.
And then that was stuck onto another bit of foam. Again, you can probably, I don't know if you see there where the foam, that's a block of foam. And then the fish bit starts there. And then there were just bits of foam then shoved all around it. Yeah. This is a big block of foam. The doors were made out of foam board.
With balsa wood again? Or
no, it's the bevel's just card. It's serial card again. With a few dressmaking pins to look like rivets.
Yeah.
I use dressmaking pins in this all the time. Like when to hold it together.
Whilst it dries, foam board. Just to pin it together?
Yeah, it gives it that extra bit of strength.
Yeah.
And then, then the balsa wood was glued on, dressmaking pins in. Yeah. And if you're ever going to see them, I'll then just pull them out. But they're really, really handy for keeping a building flush and that sort of stuff.
The base is a picture frame.
Yeah, the base was probably the most extravagant bit because it's such an odd shape that I had the picture frame made.
Wow.
So it was a custom. It cost, I think it cost 40 quid. Went into a picture frame and said, these are the dimensions that I need. Because it was the dimensions were so specific. Yeah. That I'd emailed Nick again and said, "What on the off chance I get nominated? How big are
is the cabinets?" Yeah.
And it's a weird thing because I don't want to say. I'm not saying I'll get nominated, but if I do, I'd like it to fit in. Yeah. And so he very kindly sent me back the measurements. And apparently he said no one's. He said bizarrely you're the first one to ever ask. So I'm quite surprised. Yeah. But I then went quite close to that.
Not fitting.
Yeah. And I hadn't actually thought that it's not about the shelf, it's about half of it.
The depth
to fit it in.
Of course, yeah.
And they took the doors off. So they were like, I think that had happened before because they went, don't worry about it, and lifted the doors off. Yeah. I was like, oh, thank God for that.
Phew.
But yeah, it got in, and then all that foam stuff was just polyfilled over. I painted it using this is more serial card down there.
So the little, what makes the tiles?
Yeah, that was fairly simple. I painted it using Dulux. I use these little. I can show you one. Very handy, I swear, man. These things. I got them from Homebase. They do tester pots, and I think they're like $3.50 each.
Yeah, so that,
and they've got a huge range of colours, and they do colour matching. So if you, on this bit, hopefully you'll notice that this looks very similar to the bases. The bases are painted with Citadel paints. Yeah. And this is painted with the Dulux ones.
Yeah, very similar.
So all you have to do is I use Scorched Brown, Bleach Bone, and Bestial Brown, or whatever they are now called. Yeah. Paint a bit of that onto some card, take it into Homebase, they match it, and you get a pot like that for $3.50, which is perfect for scenery. Yeah, because it's far bigger and cheaper than the Citadel pots. Yeah, but it's without giving you a giant tin of paint. Yeah, so I've got about kind of 15 colours like this that I use for painting scenery.
That's pretty impressive. That's a good idea. I'm stealing that.
And it actually looks alright on models as well. I wouldn't use it for models, but the tree trunks are done with the Dulux stuff.
Oh yeah.
It is Dulux, isn't it?
Other paint brands are available.
Yeah, of course. 250 mils. But yeah, I swear by them, they're really, really handy. And it just means you don't spend an absolute fortune on
painting. So, you got nominated.
I did get nominated, and I'm not going to lie, I was so over the moon. Carrying this sodding thing around.
Yeah.
As I said,
transporting it all the way as well.
Yeah, we were transporting it. It took 4 weeks, and it was quite stressful. I moved house, got in here, and set up the room and started working. And my wife was kind of like, "Do you not want to unpack anything else?" I went, "No, I need to unpack the box." So keep working on that. And it was that kind of I don't care if I win, but if I kind of go there
and don't get nominated, smash it.
Kind of, sheepishly walking out of the hall
with this big thing, yeah.
Like that. And so on the morning of the Sunday, they come round and sort of tap you on the shoulder and say, "Yeah, you've been nominated." And I just I was so relieved because I went to that tournament not to win any games, but just to just for the theme of it and the fluff and for this, and so to get into the cabinet was amazing.
Yeah.
So I was probably over the moon by that, and it made losing to Nick Bramwell again a little more bearable because it was during that game. I was like, I don't care. At least I've been nominated for the Army.
And how did you do with the nomination?
I managed to win.
Yeah.
I know.
So
cool. I was. It was amazing. I was absolutely delighted that. Apparently, there were some absolutely incredible armies in there on some really great display boards. I don't know what it is. As I said, I think people respond to everything on this thing. I don't necessarily think mine were the best painted, but I think it's the combination of how they're painted and the theme.
Yeah.
And the little touches.
It's definitely got a lot to do with theme, I think, when you go there, because there were some. If you remember, there was some beautifully painted Eldar warship that was put into the thing, and people were saying that's the best painted, but this is a Lord of the Rings tournament, so I'm not going to vote for it out of.
There's also I know Tom Harrison says that not if the award is best army, a lot of people just think best army is the same as best painted like that, and he very much says a lot of the time if the army's not completely themed, he won't vote for it because he always takes it as what army would I want. I mentioned Tom Harrison.
You've done it. I think there's a secret obsession
here. Make sure you put this one up after the...
after that one,
But it's that kind of thing. So I think you can see a really nicely painted army, but then if you see a kind of cool army...
Yeah.
And I think Bilbo got an awful lot of comments. And it's weird that...
The one in the tree?
Yeah, the one in the tree. And it's like, just something that simple that was the last model I did. Yeah. I think might have swung things, and if you go that extra mile with things like the spiders and stuff, I think that's what people respond to. I don't think I'd hope maybe my army might have got nominated if it wasn't on the base, but I don't think it would have won
if it wasn't on the base.
I think people like the fact that you've not just dug out some models from your case
and you put the effort into it, and you've put the thought behind
and you've built
what the army's meant to be
around the theme and stuff.
Yeah. And obviously,
great fun to use.
Battle of 5 Armies. Did you make that?
Are they going to take my trophy away?
No, they won't. They don't take things post.
The Battle of 5 Armies, the beautiful calligraphy. If you've ever seen my handwriting, I did not do that. My loving wife Emma did that for me.
I think you can get away with that.
Again, she was fine. She was stressed. She was incredibly stressed with the house move, and me going, "Can you write me a little kind of piece of burnt parchment that says Battle of 5 Armies?" In case, on the off chance she sees that, I should also point out some of the brown branches on the tops of the leaves. She helped me out with.
Oh, not fully painted by yourself, sir.
At absolute crisis stage. I think that was the Wednesday night before the event.
Oh, goodness.
I was like, "Can you please come in here and paint some branches for me?" And she was very good. Because doing the trees, I don't know if you've ever done a Citadel wood.
No, I've not painted it myself.
Maybe one Citadel wood on its own would be alright, but doing 5 trees and painting that many, and it's also it's the leaves from 7 or 8 trees.
Making them really fleshed out.
I went insane. They just took forever because I was dry brushing and picking them out, and I cleaned up the mould lines on them. as best I could. Every single one of these bits of leaves has a mould line around the edge, and if you're just chucking it on a gaming table, you probably wouldn't care. But I thought people are going to be hopefully staring at
very closely.
I missed some, and the same with the branches. All the branches have got terrible mould lines on them, and cleaning that up, that was probably the worst bit of the entire project.
Yeah,
trying to do that, it was just absolutely horrific.
I can imagine it'd be very fun for me. I'm thinking fun. It'd be to build the Lake Town house.
Yeah, it was. As I said, you asked me many more in my future, and it was fun to do one, but it was very time consuming, very fiddly.
Yeah.
And when I've done one, I'm really pleased with how it looked. I don't think I want to go back and do that because I know you. This is all leading up to me. You asking me to build your Lake Town board.
No,
I've heard. I know you're after one, no. And it would be amazing, like a proper Lake Town themed board. And on a 4x4, what do you reckon you need? Maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe? With
boards in between, boats,
that sort of thing.
Barrels.
But it did take a hell of a long time. And the thing with this is, do I then rip it off this?
Do something else with it, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I could use that, but I'd have to then rip it off the board.
No, just keep it on here.
But
zoom in on that front.
I think it did. I think the house worked well, but would I be motivated enough to go and create another 6 or something?
Yeah.
One's great for this.
Yeah.
2 or 3 are useless.
Yeah.
You need 1 or 8.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I did manage to get. And the other thing, like when it started coming together, the wife got on board.
Yeah.
When she started seeing
the whole project.
I think it was when it started taking pictures. Oh, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she was pleased with the trophy.
Good.
It was the Sunlight trophy. She
is that the trophy behind us?
Yes, the glass one.
That's one.
That she I won this. I won this some years ago. It was last year actually. This was from the East Grinstead tournament.
Oh yeah.
That one, and champion of the South. And I was, of course, very proud to come through on this. But when I brought this home, she kind of went, "Okay, that's nice. That'll look good
in the box."
Covered somewhere. She wasn't hugely enamoured with it.
Yeah.
And then when
that's it. It's not gone on screen yet.
This is the Throne Skulls Best Arm Trophy.
That is very cool, isn't it?
It is, and it looks nice.
Yeah.
And when that came out, it came in quite a nice box as well. She was like, yeah.
That's good. You have that
that's all right.
in your gaming room.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't in the lounge, is it?
No, it's not.
But there are a few that I think it would be allowed in the lounge.
Yeah, it could fit. But
it's like the
what's Throne of Skulls?
The key. Scratch that bill.
Yeah.
She was alright with the key. The work with Jaden's key. That was. I think that the world had done. I mean, and I don't mean this to knock Sam. No. It was a cracking tournament and stuff, but I think that was their first one, and they were getting things underway.
Yeah.
And they've gone from strength to strength for East Grinstead. But
very much so. Yeah.
For me, proud of both of them.
Yeah.
For the impartial wife,
the glass
was a clear favourite. So yeah. Thank you. I should say that's really important. Anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't. I had a bit of fun.
Put all the effort in. But
everyone who voted for me, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It means the world to me.
I think I voted for you. I don't remember.
I think so.
Probably.
Cheers. Well, I think thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And it was amazing. I really appreciate it because there was some staggeringly good armies on display there. So
yeah. So
what the hell do I do with it now?
Yeah, what do you do then now? It stays on the ledge with the dead wasps.
I can tell you something. This is not allowed in the lounge.
No,
this doesn't go.
This stays in the gaming room. So I hope you've enjoyed that bit of insight into the hobby behind the hobby, the sort of painting, terrain making side of it.
Hobby behind the game.
Hobby behind the game. Yeah, that's better. So be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Support your hobby.
And happy strategy programming.
And happy terrain building as well.
Oh,
it's new. It's really the only time. Well, no. See you later.